It's Saturday, February 1st, 2025. Thanks for joining me today. I want to start out this video with just prayers and condolences to the people who lost their lives last night in that medevac jet crash in Philadelphia. 7 dead, 19 injured. Just shocking to see some of the videos of this plane crashing near this shopping mall. It was near the Roosevelt Mall, near dozens of businesses and hundreds of homes. 6 people were on that plane, including a little girl who was being transported with her mother. They all lost their lives. I believe one person on the ground lost their life. 19 people injured. This could have been so much worse, but watching the videos of this crash, wow, it was spooky. And if you were there, you probably thought it was the end of the world, that we were just taking, missile strikes or something. It was really, really something. There were so many videos of this crash, but my heart goes out to these people, to the little girl's family. One thing I will say, this little girl is now in paradise, no longer sick. She is in paradise today, so rest in peace to all those people, and hopefully they had their business all situated and they're all in paradise today too. But a tragedy, and it's just a reminder that you just never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You're sitting at your house. A gentleman got hit by debris, went through his house, hit him in the head. I don't know if he's going to be okay. You just never know. I mean, this is life, and you're here for a short period. Know where you're going after you leave this earth. Article today, a couple of them. Joann, the fabric company, to lay off 200 warehouse employees in Visalia, California, beginning March 30th. Here's another one. Over 1,000 Joann employees in Ohio at risk of layoffs amid second bankruptcy. Company is in dire financial straits, and this is the second bankruptcy proceeding in under a year. Another one. After filing bankruptcy, Joann expected to lay off 250 workers and close facility in Alabama. It's going to close its distribution center if the company does not find a court-approved buyer very, very soon. Opelika, Alabama, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is where the distribution center is. And so we are going to continue to see more layoffs. So very, very interesting times, and very interesting how things are playing out right now in the U.S. economy. A lot of people just believe everything is fine, everything's been fixed, we have the new administration, but they are not fixed. There's been so much damage done, at least over the last 4 years, and really over the decades. But this stuff is not going to be fixed anytime soon. You're going to continue to see more layoffs and more companies in dire straits. And how in the world does a company file bankruptcy twice in less than a year? How does that even happen? Daily Mail, hedge funds massive bet on stock market crash raises alarm for 401ks and risk eerie of Trump. Hedge funds are making a multi-billion-dollar gamble against the U.S. economy, betting that the Trump presidency will result in a massive economic crash. Pensions, household savings, 401ks, all at risk here and could be devastated. What are your thoughts on that? I think that there's a very, very high likelihood that we're going to see a massive rug pull. I don't think it's going to be this administration's fault, but it will be this administration that takes the blame for this. But there are a lot of people now, a lot of big money betting against the U.S. economy. Throughout January, investors placed 10 times more bets on American stocks falling than on their continued rise. This is a staggering shift. The Magnificent Seven has suffered massive losses as of late, and you have to ask yourself: is this just the beginning, or is this just a blip? I think it's a sign of things to come. I really, really do. Again, I think the last administration set up a lot of booby traps for this administration, and I just think that there's been so much economic decay in this economy. And so much damage that has transpired over the years, and this decay is just eating and eating away, and sooner or later things are just going to break apart. And I think we are on the cusp of that right now, and I hope that all of you are preparing. Bank of England struggles to meet gold demand as $82 billion stockpile shifts to New York. So we are seeing a gold rush take place right now. And they're supposed to have 5,000 metric tons of physical gold, and they're making buyers now wait 4 to 8 weeks for delivery, which used to take a day or two. So instead of days, we're going to weeks. And so I think a lot of this is now the trade restriction concerns that are happening. I did not see if the president came out and spoke about the tariffs today, but we are now in a trade war with 3 countries, and this is causing a surge of U.S. holdings, 70% now to 3 million to 30 million ounces is where the U.S. holdings are presently right now. So we're seeing a gold surge in U.S. holdings, up 70% to 30 million ounces. And is this just the beginning? What does this do to gold prices? If you don't have any gold and you're thinking about getting some, please go to my link down below, SD Bullion. You can get it wherever you want to get it from. There's a lot of great companies out there, but I've been dealing with SD Bullion for over 7 years now. It's the only place I've been buying from. So if you need gold or silver, go to my link down below, SD Bullion. And I would advise, there's other good companies out there. So you can go wherever your heart desires. I'm just sharing with you where I'm buying from, and I'm not even telling you what to do. I don't give financial advice. But make sure if you do buy from a company, make sure it's reputable. And if a company is not advertising their prices of gold and silver on their website, I would stay away. Deal with the companies that are up front and show you the gold price, the silver price on their websites. SD Bullion, best company in the world, reputable, loyal, fast, competitive prices. They're a very awake company. They know what's going on, and they're just good people. So go to that link down below if you need some. EPA workers received termination warning letter. This was sent Wednesday morning to 1,100 employees. The federal workforce is being reduced, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to continue to be reduced. We're going to see layoffs in the federal government, and you're going to see in the private sector too. You're going to see big corporations continue more layoffs. You're going to see this administration really cut out the non-essential workers that our taxpayers are just being wasted on. They're gone. But look, this economy is in bad shape. And you're going to see smaller businesses all the way to large corporations continue to make massive cuts. This is now survival of the fittest. And we no longer can afford to have non-essential workers working in the government with our tax dollars going to waste, and small companies, medium companies, and large companies just have to optimize now. So they're calling workers back to work. And whether it's the federal government, whether it's Meta, whether it's Google, whoever, these companies are all calling people back to work. And if you don't want to come back to work, you're going to be fired. And this administration just said, if you don't want to come back to work, goodbye, you're done. You're fired. And that's the way it should be. The person writing out the paychecks determine if you can work at home or if you're working in the office. That's how it works. Another one from Newsweek, why housing market trend is alarming to real estate expert. The U.S. housing market is flashing warning signs that have real estate experts concerned. I've been very concerned about the real estate market for a few years. I think that, going back a few years, you saw this bubble, especially when they cut rates to 3%, below 3%. You had the Fed going in buying mortgage-backed securities. Every channel on the television was telling you to go buy a house. It's never been better. Even though you're getting a 3% rate, but you're paying so much more than the house is worth. A surge in new homes is reminiscent of past economic downturns, raising fears of a potential recession. We've been in a recession. Home builders are sitting on their highest inventory levels in years. We begin to see the economy now slowing down, where it is no longer something we can just sweep under the rug. No longer can we deny it. We've all seen the restaurants closing down. We see the vacant warehouses. We see the vacant malls, the vacant strip centers. We see so much gone. We see the devastation. And now, as things continue to slow down, you see this massive amount of inventory, and you're going to see less qualified buyers. Every day, less people can qualify to buy a home. And so this is going to be a big problem for the new home builders. It's going to be a big problem for people selling an existing home. Inventory of newly built homes rose to 494,000 in December. That's up 10% from the previous year. 30% of home builders reduced prices in January. 61% offered incentives. This trend, this is exactly what we saw. This is the same exact trend that we saw back in 2008. If you're a buyer, this is just my opinion, not financial advice. I'm trying to buy something, but I am not going to overpay, especially now, because the bubbles are so maxed out. All bubbles pop. You can see the inventory piling up. I look at Zillow 5 times a day. I'm talking to real estate agents, and they are seeing, and I'm seeing, more inventory. One thing that I'm seeing a lot more are homes that were taken off the market months ago that are back on. Also, I'm seeing homes that were in escrow, that have fallen out of escrow and are back on the market. So a lot of this is becoming more and more common. Days on market much longer. You're seeing these properties on the market for way more days than you did a couple years ago. So this is the trend now. And if you're a smart buyer and you don't have to move tomorrow, I'm sure you're paying attention to the same things that I am, and that at some point nothing's going to sell unless people begin to lower the prices, as the home builders have already begun to do, lowering prices, incentives, mortgage buydowns, and all that. But this is a trend. You're beginning to see things shift, and home prices are beginning to come down as inventory rises and the shortage of qualified buyers. So we'll see how it plays out. Are we going to see a crash like we saw back in 07, 08? I think we will. I really do, because the economy now is so much worse than it was back then. The debt is so much worse. The damage is so much worse now than it was back then. And we have pumped so much money into this economy since the great financial crisis, since the health crisis. I don't know if we even have the ability, if it would even do anything at this point, because we've devalued the dollar so much that if we went in and had to pump in, say, another 5 trillion, 7 trillion, 10 trillion after an economic crash, what would it do? It might give us a temporary relief, but the long-term effects would be absolutely catastrophic, because we've done this so many times and the dollar is losing so much purchasing power. This is why you're seeing gold over $2,800 an ounce. It's not that gold's going up, right, ladies and gentlemen? It's that the dollar is going down. It's just losing its purchasing power, and it's going to lose more, unfortunately. And I hope that all of you are preparing. December FAA report cites urgent need to modernize air traffic systems. Watching these 2 plane crashes in the past couple days, again, my heart goes out to all these families who lost loved ones. We've sent so much money all over the world, yet I'm reading this article about how we need to modernize our air traffic systems. We're supposed to be the wealthiest nation on planet Earth. Even though we are the biggest debtor nation, we are bankrupt, I get it. But we have the ability to print money and send it all over the world. We have the ability to finance wars, build military bases all over the world, give bombs and drones and ammo all over the world, whatever we want to do. But what are we doing for our own people? We cannot even modernize our own air traffic systems. We're housing people from all over the world coming here too, which is costing hundreds of billions of dollars. It's just hard to understand this stuff. We're spending millions of dollars to experiment and torture animals that is completely needless. It does not have to be done. We spend millions on that, but we cannot update our infrastructure. Who are our politicians working for? Because apparently, reading all this stuff that I'm reading every day, apparently our politicians are not working for us. NYPD searching for 6 suspects who stole an MTA train from Brooklyn and took it for a joyride. This also very concerning, and I'll tell you why. Because if you can just steal a train, that train could be used as a weapon. Imagine what some very, very bad people would do that were very, very well prepared and trained. They could arm that train with God knows what. This took place 10 p.m. Saturday last night near 71st Avenue, near the 71st Avenue station in Forest Hills, Queens. Someone could use this train for a very, very big weapon. And so this might have been a joyride this time, but I can guarantee you that our enemies, very, very bad people, are watching this going, hey, that's a great idea. Maybe we could take a train. We've used airplanes in the past, but maybe we should use a train. And if it's that easy for some joyriders, some kids to steal a train, how easy would it be for some very nefarious people to do the same, but take it to the next level? Very, very concerning. This country is absolutely falling apart. And I'll tell you, this administration who's been in office now for a couple weeks, they have got their hands full. The way I see it is we're going to see a rug pull coming, ladies and gentlemen. They're already getting you. I mean, these hedge funds, they already know what's coming. You look at Warren Buffett, $325 billion cash on the sidelines. The big players know what's coming. And it's not going to be this administration's fault. But it's going to be, I believe, orchestrated. And when it happens, of course, we know who will get blamed for it. It'll be this administration. Don't fall for it. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Be diversified. Have money outside of the system. Have yourself some gold and silver outside of the system. Don't keep it in a safe deposit box at a bank. Very, very dangerous. I would say get out of the system the most that you can, the best that you can. I'm not telling you to be 100% out of the system. We all have bills to pay. I get it. But get out of the system the best that you can and be prepared that one day you may wake up, your internet doesn't work, the ATM's not working, the banks aren't open, the grocery stores are wiped out. What would you do? What you have access to is all you have. What you can hold in your hands is all that you have, whether that's money, whether that's food, whether that's water, whether that's security. That's it. Be walking close to God. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please comment down below. We'd all love to know your thoughts on any of this stuff. And what do you think is going to happen to the stock market this year? What do you think is going to happen to the economy? Is it going to improve, or do we see a rug pull? Do we see some tough times? Gold is not over $2,800 for no reason. There's a reason. It is definitely warning us of some uncertainty, of some economic threats out there. I think a lot of it is inflation. But what are your thoughts on this, and how are you preparing? Is cryptos the way to go? I don't see the central banks loading up on cryptos. I see them loading up on gold, physical gold. And that's where, I'm putting my money in a little bit of real estate at the right price, gold, and cash. Even though cash is losing value, I still think it's important, because when the lights go out and you can't, buy anything with your Bitcoin, you can't buy anything with a credit card or a debit card, you got to have some cash. The Helene storm was a reminder to that if you were able to even get food at the grocery store, they were only taking one thing, and that is cash. So cash is king to a degree. It is losing purchasing power, but it has its benefits, its pros. When the lights go out, there's no power, there's an emergency, cash is king. So remember that. And a lot of people will say, well, you can't eat your gold, you can't eat your silver. There's not a farmer in this country that isn't going to take gold and silver for 20 pounds of beef or 10 pounds of soybeans or a chicken. There's not a farmer in this country that's not going to take gold or silver. You can go anywhere in the world and you can take that gold or silver and you can get any currency, whatever country you're in. It's very, very easy to take an ounce of gold and get currency for that in any country. So it's very liquid. Every country recognizes it as real money. So you can always get fiat currency for your metals if you need to do that. But there ain't a farmer in this country that won't take an ounce of gold or silver for food. That is for sure. Comment down below. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there. God bless.